Hello, Abnormal Investigations. Thank you for joining me. We're going to drop 3 videos today, so yeah, it's going to be a heavy video day, but I think you all's going to enjoy the encounters that I have, and I want to thank each and every one of you for your support, and if you have not subscribed, I would like to invite you to subscribe, ring the bell, and select all to get all of our latest downloads and uploads and all the other fun stuff we're going to be doing. But let's get on to today's encounter. I was born and raised in a small town in northeastern Pennsylvania, where there isn't much to do. One of the favorite pastimes in my area is hunting, like many other areas. Around here, white-tailed deer, black bear, coyotes, and turkey are the most popular animals to hunt. My story begins on my friend's farm with me and him and one of our friends. For reference, we'll be calling the friend that owns the farm C and our other friend B. One night, CMB and me were at C's farm. We were just hanging out. We had just gotten a new coyote call and we were excited to use it. We decided that night we would finally put it to the test and try it out. Now, to give you a little backstory about the area we live in, it used to be an old coal mining town. The coal mine sits around 1/2 mile or less from C's farm. Back in 1905, around 85 coal miners worked at the mine. One day, while they were at work in the mine, an incident occurred that caused an explosion that caused the mine to collapse. It left 12 dead and more injured. This happened on a Thursday morning, and word did not get out about the collapse until Friday afternoon. Well, rumor has it that while they were waiting to be dug out, one of the miners resorted to cannibalism. This supposedly led to this man forming into a Wendigo. Even to make it even weirder, C's grandmother took us there one time when we were younger and told us to never go near it, especially at night. We always thought it was a cause of danger it presented since it collapsed, but now I'm not sure if it was that exactly. Now back to present time in the summer of 2023, me, C, and B set out on a coyote hunt at about 11 o'clock at night. We went out to field and set up our call. We came back to his house on the property, which is about 250 to 300 yards from where we would be hunting. So we weren't extremely far away. We came back to get our chairs and our guns and our red light ready. Coyotes are blind to red and green light. I was strapped with my AR-15 and my 9mm pistol. C had his .243 and his 10mm pistol. And B had his AR-15 as well and his .357. We got out and we sat down and we were just hanging out listening to the call and waiting for coyotes to come in. Now, to give a little layout, we were sitting just on the edge of the field where it met the tree line to our left. We had about 120 yards worth of field till wood line again, and then about 60 yards down that wood line there's a power line that runs through the property to the right there. The field was over 1,200 yards. Normally, there is all sorts of noises around the farm. From deer in the field to birds, coyotes at night, bobcats, raccoons, possums, bears, there is no shortage of wildlife there. Now, this night was quieter than normal. We didn't think anything of it, though, and continued on with our night. About an hour into sitting out there, we still had no sign of any coyotes in our area, so we were just in discussion about going to B's house to try and just relax. While we were in discussion, we began to hear movement from behind us. Now, here is where it gets weird. When you spend enough time in the woods, you can tell the difference between something bipedal walking and something walking on all 4 legs. We hear bipedal footsteps from behind us. That only came when we were talking. Immediately, we shined our lights into the woods behind us, seeing nothing. We began to look at one another in confusion. During this time, from the tree line, on the left of us, we hear C's mom's voice, "C, can you come here?" Which is weird, because C's family was on vacation at the time, leaving just me and C there. We then begin to quickly pack up because we knew that something is off. As we were packing up, we hear a scream unlike anything we've ever heard. It came from the power line. It sent shivers up our entire body. It was so ear-piercing. Now, we were all very avid hunters, and none of us could recognize what this scream came from. But now we have packed everything up, and we just get to call from in the field, so me and C go retrieve it, and when we get there, I'm scanning the woods with my AR while he picks it up. In the wood line to our left, through my scope, I saw glowing yellow eyes that were staring right at me. I never did tell B and C about those eyes that pierced my soul due to wanting to get out as fast as we could. And I feared they would not believe me. I quickly told C to hurry up, grab the call, and quickly get back to B. We proceeded to walk to the wood line, scan the light all around us in the woods, behind where we were sitting. We didn't see anything that made it back to the house, we made it back to the house in record time. From there, we sat in the kitchen researching every animal noise we could think of, and maybe it was just something new to the area that we have never heard before. After an hour and a half of looking online, listening to every animal call we could think of, and still found nothing compared to it, a couple hours later we finally had our nerves calmed and decided to try to go to sleep. I, however, could not sleep thinking about those glowing yellow eyes that seemed to burn lasting mark into my brain through the scope. So I went to get a drink of water from the kitchen. Downstairs, while enjoying my water, I was looking out the window, which proved to be a mistake because after about 5 minutes into scanning the woods around the house, I saw them again. Those same piercing yellow eyes just glaring at me from no more than 50 yards away. Now they stared at me so intensely I could feel the malevolence in them. My body was telling me to run upstairs and retrieve my AR, but I was in shock and I couldn't move. I couldn't even move the cup of water that was halfway lifted to my mouth. After staring at this thing for maybe 5 minutes that felt like hours, I was finally able to gain the courage to move. And I ran upstairs, throwing the cup into the sink and booking it. I was not able to sleep that night until sunlight. The rest of the summer, we would be hanging out on the porch. We would hear the same bipedal footsteps in the woods around the house. The motion sensor lights around the house would go off at random times in the middle of the night, for what appeared to be no reason or cause. We never did see what would set them off. One time we were having a fire, and one of the motion sensor lights went off, and it scared us pretty bad. I then proceeded to tell them about the yellow eyes that I had seen in the woods. And they kind of looked at me and said, "We saw them too, I just didn't want to say anything." So that night we had all seen the same thing, but we were too afraid to tell each other because we was afraid that we wouldn't believe each other. And that's when it happened. We were sitting on the front porch, and from behind the house we heard his mother's voice say, "I'm home. Could you please bring me the laundry?" We knew his mom wasn't home, and we knew that she wasn't hanging laundry at 2 in the morning. And when we yelled, and we don't know if we should have, but we yelled, "I know that's not you," we then seen it run toward the woods. It was a tall, skinny, mangy-looking dog. It looked kind of sickly. It was like it was hungry, but no doubt that it was a dog-looking creature running on 2 legs. It ran as fast as it could into the woods. We shined our heavy spotlights into the woods, seeing it every now and then running through the woods and trying to hide behind trees peeking at us, but we would always catch its eyes glowing in our lights. Yes, we did take shots at it with our ARs. We don't know if we hit it or not, but we all emptied our magazines, trying to get it to run off. It's now been 6 months later, and there has not been a sign of it. I think we scared it off. Well, I think that probably what happened is you guys ended up having an accidental encounter, or your call you was using called it up. And that night when you went home, it either followed you, or because you were looking up sounds on the computer replaying them, it heard the sounds and followed you back to your house. I have no doubt that these creatures know that they can die from a weapon, and with you all firing at it and using high-powered lights, it probably knew that it wasn't a good place for it to be hanging out. I would still be cautious to make sure that it does not come back, since you all did shoot at it, and hopefully you didn't hit, wound, or kill it, and other ones were seeking revenge on you. But I would be very careful around the house. I'd make sure the lights were working. I would have a perimeter of cameras that use, the IR light. And as always, keep your head on a swivel and make sure you don't become this thing's dinner, because I'm pretty sure it's not your friend now that you've shot at it, and especially if you've hit it. But hopefully it's moved on and you won't see it again. Thank you for sharing your encounter. Thank you everyone for watching. Please smash that like button, and we'll see you on the next one.